quick fire questions. And since I get to be the co-host today, I'm going to ask you these questions that are typically asked of me. 1, can Christians be pro-science and still cautious?
Yes, 100%, because that's what I am. I'm pro-science as a medical professional, but I'm also cautious because as a mom, I want to evaluate and see what's in the vial. I want to make sure that I get research and that I'm talking to my doctor and my husband first. And yes, talk to him first and that we're in agreement.
Talk to, don't tell.
And yes, talk to, don't tell.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Matt and Kendal podcast. This is where we are going to give you biblically based answers to life's questions. And with regard to those questions, they come from you, our viewers and our listeners. If there's some topic that you want us to address, we will take that into consideration and give you the opportunity to hear what we believe is a faithful answer from God's Word, authentic to our lives, something that we've experienced or have information about, and hopefully it's a benefit and a blessing to you. If it is a benefit and a blessing to you,
subscribe.
That's right.
Like, share.
How do they do that?
Yes, you do it. There's a button at the bottom wherever you're watching. You can also click, copy, paste, send it to your friend, but subscribe. Put that button on there, subscribe.
That's right. Our goal is to provide quality information and content, and we want you to make sure that others know about it. So please click like and subscribe. Today, we are talking about a question that was sent in, and it's about vaccinations. As a matter of fact, the question is, what's in the vial? Ooh. And I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to address this with you, my dear, because you have professional and personal experience in this space, working as a nurse and having oversight in lots of spaces for vaccinations and the things that are necessary. And so we're going to jump right into this conversation. You know what? I'll read the question because typically you're putting me on the spot.
You're in the hot seat.
I'm going to flip the coin today. Here we go. It says, "Hi, Pastor Matt and Kendal. I'm a mom who delayed my kids' vaccinations, not because I'm anti-science, but because I felt pressured, not informed. I got labeled and judged from some that I know. Even my own church friends made me feel like I was reckless. I just wanted to ask questions without being shamed." So we have here an individual who really is seeking information, and they're not alone. Because when you look at, the recent research, 44% of the United States says that, parents should be the ones who choose when and how the child is vaccinated, not medical professionals.
Not mandated, yeah.
And then there's a lot of people who, again, every individual is different.
Yes.
There's certain things that we don't know about each and every situation. Like with this individual listener, they said, I'm a mom who delayed my kids' vaccinations. Okay. How old are the kids? What is delayed?
Was there anything?
Is it something
medical reason why?
Is there a medical family history? If she's a mom who delayed her kid's vaccination and the kid is 25, you didn't delay it, you skipped it. But if it's something that should have been done 6 months ago and you decided not to, or if it's something that's required for school,
yes.
and you don't, and then even in the post-COVID world, this has become a real hot topic, and in many cases becomes a reason why people will or will not associate with one another.
Yes, and I think you said post-COVID. I think when they were mandating that you got the COVID vaccine at some businesses, jobs, military, nursing professions, people started to not trust. They were like, wait a minute, why are you forcing me? I've always had a right to decide if I have to get a vaccine or not. Even with our own children, during that time, they were asking and really kind of encouraging your children should get these vaccines. And you're like, well, no, I don't know if I really feel comfortable giving them the vaccine. So it was something that was a little bit more, half people were doing it, half weren't, it was kind of going back and forth. But the whole of trusting with a brand new vaccine that just got push through.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, do I have to do it? No, you don't have to do.
Well, and you said a very important word, trust.
Trust, yeah.
I think that that's really the foundation of the whole conversation. If the question is, what's in the vial? If the question is, what am I putting in my body?
Yeah.
The truth is, most people, and when I say most people, I'm talking like 99.9% of us don't know.
No.
Now, you, with scientific and medical training and a background, you have some awareness. But even as a nurse, you don't have the full awareness of a pharmacologist, or you don't have the full awareness of somebody who's working on developing these things. And you have to come to a point of trusting that this works.
That's right.
And so as we discuss, what it is, I think that it's important for every individual, like you were talking about our situation with our children.
Yes.
One, we took some time to consider them, right? They're young, they're healthy. They were not a part of the population that was at risk. And based on those realities, we made a decision. Now, we made a decision for our house. We didn't make a decision for the neighbors.
Yes, that's right.
We didn't make the decision for my brothers and sisters. We didn't make the decision for my parents.
And you're specifically talking about the COVID vaccine.
Exactly.
Yes,
we're talking about the COVID vaccines.
Because there's some vaccines that
we made a decision for our family. And that's something that I think is important for everybody to understand. You need to take some time and think about the situation and make the decision for yourself and not be upset about what is or isn't being done by other people. We're not always going to agree on everything, but it doesn't mean that because we don't see eye to eye that we can't have a relationship.
That's right. Yeah. Also with her, she said delayed. And I can see, because our kids are now 12 years old on to 20.
Correct.
It's a lot different now what they, introduced to vaccines for newborns versus 12 years ago. So I understand delaying. There's not, you don't have to. And trust your pediatrician. We have an awesome pediatrician that is a Christian doctor in our church that we trust, that we talk about these vaccines, because there's new ones coming up, or our kids are going off to college and they recommend if you are staying in a dorm, they need an additional. And so we trust him and we talk to him and ask questions, and he never forces us to, he just says, this is what's recommended.
He's very direct about recommended versus required. And he's also very forthright about if he were us.
Yes.
But back to that concept of trust, you have to trust your doctor.
Yes.
And you have to trust, the fact that their intent is to help you be healthy. I thought about this topic a little bit before we discussed it and was considering my grandmother, pastor's mom. When she was 9, her father went to get a job at a refinery, and the refinery required that he have a physical before he gets the job. Well, at the physical, they identified that he had a hernia, and they wanted to do a hernia repair. So in the mid-20s, she saw her father go to the doctor for a simple procedure, and he died.
Oh.
Now, in the mid-20s, science, technology wasn't advanced, and in her mind, people went to the doctor to die.
Oh,
and that was her experience as a child. It impacted her the rest of her life to the point that she had more home remedies than anybody I ever knew, because she did not want to go to any type of medical professional. She was terrified of them. Now, my dad, when he was a kid, polio was a problem, and measles was a problem, and flu was a problem. And medical professionals created solutions through vaccination, through treatment. And in my dad's generation, people trusted their doctors. And if the doctor said take it, they took it. And if the doctor said do it, they did it. Even if sometimes the doctors were saying contradictory things, because, when I was a kid, they said drink 3 glasses of milk a day. And then my teenage years, they said, stop drinking milk. It's killing you. And
eat more eggs. Don't eat eggs. Eat low-fat diet.
Yeah, exactly. You know, dark chocolate's good for your heart. Dark milk chocolate's killing you. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that are out there. But in Dad's generation, people put a tremendous amount of trust in their doctors. And then COVID kind of shook that trust. And the reason it shook that trust is because doctors didn't agree with themselves.
Yes, because you can see it in the medical field. There was about, some doctors agreed and some doctors did not agree. So
Correct.
Even being a medical profession, you're, in the professional world, you're like, wait a minute, they all don't agree. This is like the first time that
Correct.
Not everybody feels like you should or should not.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't like a disagreement of treatment.
No.
I've seen one doctor say we should do surgery. I've seen another doctor say we can postpone surgery. Both of them agreed that surgery was a reasonable treatment, but one was saying now versus later. This disagreement was right versus wrong.
Opposites.
It was like should or should not. And that kind of uncertainty, it causes people to function in fear.
Yes.
And here's something that I think is really important for this conversation. Anytime you're operating in fear, you're not making good decisions.
No.
The Bible says very clearly, God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and sound mind. So take fear and put it into the equation of the decision we made for our children. Mm-hmm. If I'm afraid, they're getting everything that the doctor says they should get, and they're getting it right now because I'm afraid that they're going to get sick.
That's right.
But if I have power, I'm going to use that to go find out what I need to know. Yes. And then because I love them, I'm going to make the best decision I can for them. And from those two drivers of power and love, I'm going to use some good common sense and wisdom, which is my sound mind, which all of that disappears if you're afraid. Yes. If the panic button gets hit, you don't have power. You immediately are subject to the force of fear. If you're scared, you're not operating in love. You're operating in survival mode, and your sound mind just disappears. So I think that it's important for every individual to, 1, trust their doctor. 2, don't be afraid, but have power, love, and sound mind. And then 3, talk to other people. Talk to a medical professional, talk to a nurse, talk to somebody who's actually in the space and ask them for their opinion if it's somebody that you have a relationship with and trust, because I'll be honest with you, when you and I got married, I certainly wasn't aware of all of the viral diseases and contaminations that are around you on a daily basis. And I mean, there were times where I would ask you, why are you washing your hands? And you're like, do you have any idea how much flesh-eating bacteria I'm covered in? And
staph is all over your body.
Well, and to that point, you have an awareness that other people don't. And because of that, you take precautions that other people won't. And I think whenever you, as an individual, have access to somebody who knows those things, then you can start to understand and implement some stuff that helps you stay healthier and make better decisions.
Yeah, I like that. Trust your doctor. Do some research. You said that. Pray about it. If you, as a mom or dad, do not have the peace of God,
pray about everything. We're going to put that over every show.
Pray about it. Because if that's, if you don't have, and if you, the husband and wife, are disagreeing, then y'all need to come in an agreement before the kids' appointment. You know what I mean? Because you and I were in agreement together.
Well,
so that was...
Parents, let me give you some really good advice. Don't have this discussion in front of your kids.
Yes.
Because
we have one kid that loves shots, and she was telling the doctor to give her shots. And I'm like, no. And then you have another kid that's in the corner crying because he doesn't want, shots. Yeah. So we have a spectrum of...
the little one, she thinks shots are cool.
This is awesome.
And the big, strong football player, he'd climb the wall before he'd take a needle.
Talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it separately.
And then include your kids after.
And talk about it when you have the ability to do it without emotion.
Oh, that's
because,
good. I like that.
If it's an emotional conversation, you're going to throw out that sound mind thing. And whenever you're able to say, okay, here are my concerns, and those are heard, and then you can address those, in a reasonable fashion, you come to a decision. But if you have this disagreement or you're having this discussion in front of your kids, all you're going to do is spread fear to them.
That's good.
And if you have an emotional conversation in front of your kids, they're going to think this is a big deal. And what you want is to give your children the confidence that you're making the best possible decision for them.
That's fair.
And so, yes.
And this goes to the age of 18, because now that we have 2 kids over the age of 18,
correct.
Parents, you no longer, when you go to the doctor's office, it's so weird for me. They have to sign all the paperwork. I have to ask for them to put me on their portal.
Hannah,
here I've been tracking them since they were born.
Last spring, it was funny because I personally enjoyed it. But
he enjoyed it. I did not.
Hannah had an allergic reaction.
Yes, and she was at college.
So you told her, go to the urgent care, and they started to treat her for the allergy and the thing that was bothering her. And Kendal, being mom and being a nurse, she would call and she'd say, I need an update on this patient. And they'd say, ma'am, we do not have the ability to update you.
Do not disclose any information.
Yeah, and it's against HIPAA, which you're familiar with all that.
Yes, I am.
And she'd be like, I'm her mother. And
I thought I had a medical power of attorney, but that's something too that you parents after age 18, your kids have to sign paperwork.
And your child has to sign it. Well, apparently Hannah had verbally agreed to it, but
she didn't have it on her portal. So all that to say, I drove as fast as I could.
It was entertaining for me to sit and watch mom be told no. And then she said, what do you mean you can't talk to me? And I was like, she's 18. It's her life. And it was fabulous. But good news is they treated Hannah well. She recovered. She
signed the paperwork an hour afterwards.
And the reason we can laugh about it now is because they've all signed the paperwork. But
I am prepared now with number 2.
Yeah. We've got signed, sealed, and delivered. But ask questions if you need to ask questions. Yes. Seek wisdom from individuals who have it. Not everybody has it.
Don't listen to everybody.
Yeah, Dr. Google is not an approved medical physician.
And just because a friend doesn't or does, you don't have to. You choose for your child.
But
you are the parent.
Most important thing that I think is something a lot of people have a tendency to do is judge others for what they decide. You don't want them to judge you. Don't judge them. Don't make this the reason why you do not get together with friends and family. Don't make this the thing that separates you from others, because it's a decision that's important, but it's not worth that. And we're talking about vaccinations. I know people that they allow those types of disagreements to always, cause conflict that's much bigger than the situation, and it's something that you need to be able to make a decision about and make a good decision about, but don't allow it to be a separator.
No.
It's something that doesn't need to be that way.
And I want to bring up a point, like you're not stuck. Like some people get to that point where they choose not to do it when the kids are young, but they go to school, and then the school is saying, hey, you need to turn. They're looking for some type of documentation. So if you don't get the vaccines, there's always conscientious exemption. There's a religious exemption. So there's other options. You're not just like, if I have to do it.
Correct.
So you can get that information through your school, and there's always, forms you can fill out if you choose not to do them.
Correct. And understand in this conversation, Kendal and I are not telling you do it.
Yes.
And we're not telling you don't do it.
Because we do vaccinations for our kids. All of our kids have had some vaccinations of some sort.
Yeah, they've all received the type of treatment that helps them to function and be healthy in the world that they live in.
Yes.
But regardless of the decision you make, you need to trust the individuals that you're talking to. That's your medical doctor. And people in your life, and I would use the measurement of their fear factor in how much I trust them.
That's good.
Because if they're afraid of everything, then they're probably not going to help you make a good decision. But if you trust the medical professional you're talking to and you trust the people that are a part of helping you make good decisions, I think you're on a good space. One of the things we put in every one of our podcasts is the quick fire questions. And since I get to be the co-host today, I'm going to ask you these questions that are typically asked of me. Here we go. Ready? 1. Can Christians be pro-science and still cautious?
Yes, 100%, because that's what I am. I'm pro-science as a medical professional, but I'm also cautious because as a mom, I want to evaluate and see what's in the vial. I want to make sure that I get research and that I'm talking to my doctor and my husband first. And yes, talk to him first and that we're in agreement.
Talk to, don't tell.
And yes, talk to, don't tell. And then also as my kids age, it is their decision after age 18. So as a mom, as a professional, I want to provide them that information so they can make a sound decision when they come to that age.
Absolutely. Here's question 2. How do I handle pushback from others?
Ooh, pushback. I do, like some of the friends that I have, it's kind of half and half. Some are, I ignore the negativity. I'm just like, I'm like, you know what? That's not going to bother me.
So if you're one of those negative friends?
If you tell me something negative, it doesn't get underneath my skin. It doesn't really. I just like, you know what? I'm going to brush that off. That's what you believe. But I'm not going to cause it to be a separation. I have friends that we don't agree, but we're still friends. And that's okay because that's who we are. You and I don't agree on
everything.
Some stuff, but it's okay. We're still married.
Every day, all day, till death do we part, in agreement or disagreement. So question 3.
Okay.
What do I say when I don't have answers?
Silence. I saw a sticker at our orientation that was sometimes I have an opinion, but I should keep my mouth shut.
No, that's not what the sticker said.
I summed it up, but I don't have the exact words in front of me, but that's what I took as what it said. So what did it really say? He has a photographic memory, so I abbreviate it.
Yeah. What did it say? What it said is, I don't have problems with the answers. My problem is keeping my mouth shut.
Oh, that was even better than
that. So anyway.
But if you have a problem with keeping your mouth shut, just really try hard.
Silence is hard to misinterpret.
I do sometimes talk to myself if I know he's not listening.
No, you talk to yourself consistently.
I do. Because I'm figuring I'm having to get it out, but I know he doesn't. It's a problem that doesn't need to be said.
No, sometimes I'm trying to figure out, is that my list or your list?
But I'm just talking. I am an audible person that has to talk out loud.
You'll be sitting in the middle of the room going,
is there any audible?
Go to the store, get the groceries, cook dinner. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to get at the store?
Nothing.
And you're like, I'm not talking to you. I'm like, well, who are you talking to? So
myself. There's probably moms out there that we talk to ourselves, and it's okay.
Question 4. What if I feel conflicted about mandates?
Ooh, if you feel conflicted, that's okay. Because you're not mandated to, you don't have to. I know back when they were saying you either do this or else you lose your job. Now they're backtracking on that. Now they're bringing people back that they released in the hospital and military. So if you're conflicted about it, then again, I would say pray about it.
Okay.
Trust.
Question 5.
Trust the Lord.
How can this issue and how I handle it impact my witness?
How it impacts my witness?
Yeah. Does it impact your witness for Christ?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think, God gives us choices when it comes to what we put in our body, just like the diet you eat.
Yeah.
It's your choice that you pick up that donut. I mean, those donuts, or you choose, you can choose not
That's
to,
not
but
on
it's
the
a
medically
choice
advised diet?
I know. They'll give you the recommendations, but it's your choice if you exercise every day and you eat.
Krispy Kreme?
I know. They're so good.
Yeah. So, I'm going to be honest. I asked the quick fire questions. I have a lot more fun answering them.
He does, because he likes to talk.
How do I handle pushback from others? My answer to that one, not that you asked, but I'll ask it of myself.
Yeah, that's a good one. How do you handle it? I'm sure you get.
I qualify who's pushing back, because there are opinions that matter and there are opinions that don't matter. So if you are pushing back on something I've said, I need to pay attention because we're partners.
Wife. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in this together. If it's somebody else that doesn't have a say-so or a vote, it's just noise.
That's true.
And I think what you have to do as an individual is identify who's a noisemaker and who's somebody that needs to know. Now, if the person who needs to know is a individual that's pushing back, pay attention. If it's somebody that's just a noisemaker, brush them off.
Yeah, just do it with a smile. If they say something, say, oh, good for you, but I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
This is how just do it with a smile. Because usually if you're smiling and not grumpy, then they know they can't get to you. And it's like,
correct.
That's what I do with you too.
How can this handle my witness, or how can this impact my witness? This is not an issue of heaven or hell.
That's right. It's not.
This is an issue of life here on earth. And as you were saying, it's a matter of choice. When you as a person of faith start to take things that do not have an eternal value and make them eternally valuable, you're mixing things that don't mix and putting things together that don't mix. And so I don't know that this has really any impact on faith, even if that's one of the things that people try to use to shame you into seeing it their way. When Pastor was growing up and he's a little kid, a lot of the people in the denomination that he was a part of in his childhood, they didn't drink caffeine. And the reason they didn't drink caffeine is because caffeine was a stimulant. And so they avoided coffee because if they really had the joy of the Lord as their strength, they didn't need coffee, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I'm so thankful that we have gotten away from that kind of teaching, because coffee is part of Christianity, right?
That's right. I drink 3 cups a day.
All that being said, caffeine or no caffeine, that doesn't have any impact on your eternity.
No.
But whenever you try to take something that's not eternal and make it eternal and purposeful in your witness, it causes confusion. This issue has nothing to do with your witness, and it's a matter of personal preference. And it's something that you need to be able to make a decision that's best for your family and make it based on trust. Kendal and I want to thank you guys for joining us today. We also want to encourage you again, if you have a question and you're looking for a biblically based answer with some unfiltered faith involved, we certainly want you to feel free to email that to us, and you can find out how to contact us in the show notes. Again, click like and subscribe. Give us the opportunity to share good content with you and share it with others. God bless you, and thank you for being a part of this podcast. Would you help us grow? Tell others how they can get this content. Click the link in the bio and share it with your friends.